Hello everyone, welcome back, and this is Resident Evil 1.5 Nerd, and in this video today we will be discussing a certain creature in Resident Evil 1.5's development stage that never made it into the actual final game of Resident Evil 2, that was released in 1998. And this said creature is one of the most terrifying creatures that you'll ever come across in a Resident Evil game. And it has lived its legacy on through all the RE titles in many different ways, either by influencing it to create other monsters in the Resident Evil franchise, and many people say it was a good idea for a monster. This said terrifying monster is known as the Manspiders from Resident Evil 1.5. And in this video today we will be analyzing the creature that was known as the Manspiders. And without further ado, let's begin this video. So let's begin this video with looking at concept arts. Concept arts that were either really interesting and are what most people have as the Manspiders. This is one of them. It looks absolutely terrifying and absolutely like a force of nature to be reckoned with when it comes to Resident Evil 1.5 monsters. This other picture is what shows how the process of a Manspider becomes and how it actually goes about transforming a human into a said Resident Evil monster. And if you pay attention in Resident Evil 1.5's videos, in a particular video in the Biohazard Complete disc, you can see this particular footage that you're about to see is of a Manspider attacking William Birkin. Okay, I'm going to show you the clip. That just shows you how ruthless the Manspiders are if they're even gonna face off against the main villain of the Resident Evil 1.5 game, William Birkin. And if you thought that wasn't terrifying enough, apparently their abilities were gonna be where you would be torn apart by them, according to files found inside of Resident Evil 1.5. And also, talking about its abilities, it could poison you like regular normal spiders, and it would do basically the same amount as a zombie mixed with a spider when it comes to its attacks. And that's one of the reasons why it's so terrifying, even for casual Resident Evil players. When it comes to the backstory of Resident Evil 1.5's Manspiders, I have to always ask the question, why were they in the game at the first time? They must have a backstory. Well, here's the main backstory that I've come to believe that this is what it was truly meant to be, well, it's where Umbrella was experimenting with man spiders. Well, with spiders themselves. Then they got out at some point and they caused the whole entire building to be overran with spiders, and over time all of the scientists that were still left after the police department knocked up to Umbrella's doorstep and completely raided the place. And this even caused like a few of the other monsters like the zombie gorillas and the actual T-virus to be leaked out into the city when the police department raided and destroyed everything that was in existence in there. And that's usually what I first think about when I think of the process of how the Manspiders actually became to be. And this is what many other people think that this said Manspider monsters was about to do to those poor civilians of Raccoon City. Well, as we all know, we still don't know what the intentions of the Manspiders were going to be in that said Resident Evil 2 prototype, also known as Resident Evil 1.5. And it's still a large mystery even for modern Resident Evil players, but we all probably consider that to be the main concept of the existence of these said creatures. But sadly, these creatures would not see the light of day in any other Resident Evil game, even the Resident Evil 2 remake, where many people were expecting Resident Evil 1.5 monsters or canceled creatures that were going to be in Resident Evil 2 to be coming into that said game. I'm afraid that the Manspider will not be probably returning in any future Resident Evil game, even though 1.5 is still being worked on. Who knows how they could expand the lore of this said game and give us a more thorough backstory on the Manspiders. Only time will tell when we get that, either that final build or someone finally creates a final build. And the Manspiders will continue to be one of the most terrifying monsters of all of Resident Evil history, and one of the most mysterious. As I'm ending my analysis now, and I will see you guys all later in the future Resident Evil video. And as this is being said, this is Resident Evil 1.5 Nerd, signing off.
Wild